Fire, it's not just warmth, it's your lifeline. Let's delve into the essence of fire in survival scenarios. Imagine you're stranded in the wilderness, the temperature is dropping and the night is closing in. Fire isn't just a luxury, it's a necessity, a beacon of hope in the encroaching darkness. The ability to start a fire in wet conditions is a skill that could mean the difference between life and death. It's about understanding the elements, being resourceful, and never giving up, even when the odds seem stacked against you. You'd need to find tinder that's dry, or can be dried easily. Tree bark, dried grass, or even lint from your pocket can be effective tinder. Moving on to the spark, the heart of your fire. Think beyond the matchbox and the lighter. There's a world of friction-based fire-starting techniques waiting to be mastered. From the classic hand drill to the bow drill, fire plow, or even a simple flint and steel kit, these methods are your lifeline when modern conveniences fail. Now you've got your fire started, but it's just the beginning. You need to keep it alive, feed it, nurture it. Fuel selection and fire maintenance are key here. Not every wood is firewood. Greenwood, for instance, is a poor choice as it produces a lot of smoke and little heat. On the other hand, seasoned hardwood is a great option. It burns slow and hot, providing long-lasting heat. Fire is a survivalist's best friend. It provides warmth, cooks your food, purifies your water, wards off predators, and signals your location to rescuers. It boosts morale, making the wild a little less daunting. But remember, the best fire-starting tool is knowledge. It's not about the fancy gadgets or the massive stockpile of matches. It's about understanding the principles, mastering the techniques, and having the persistence to keep trying until that first spark catches. Master the art of fire, and you've mastered a key to survival. Water, it's not just a thirst quencher, it's life itself. Think about it. You can go weeks without food, but only a few days without water. That's why, in a survival situation, knowing how to locate, collect, purify, and store water is more valuable than any stockpile. First off, finding water. It's everywhere if you know where to look. Natural sources like rivers, streams, or lakes are your best bet. But remember, not all water is created equal. Stagnant water, for example, can be a breeding ground for bacteria and parasites. Now let's talk about snow and ice. Yes, they can be sources of water, but there's a catch. Never eat snow or ice directly as it can lower your body temperature, leading to hypothermia. Always melt it first. Once you've found your water source, the next step is making it safe to drink. This is where filtration and purification come in. Filtration removes physical impurities. Think dirt, leaves, and small critters. Purification, on the other hand, kills or removes invisible threats like bacteria, viruses, and chemicals. There are several ways to purify water. Boiling is one of the most reliable methods. Just bring your water to a rolling boil for at least 1 minute, and voila, it's safe to drink. Another method is using purification tablets or drops, but remember, these are temporary solutions. In the long run, knowing how to build a simple charcoal or sand filter could be a lifesaver. Finally, storing water. It's always a good idea to have a supply on hand, but remember, water can become contaminated if not stored properly. Always use clean food-grade containers and, if possible, keep your water supply off the ground and away from direct sunlight. Water is life, and knowing how to find and purify it is the key to survival. So, when the chips are down and your stockpile runs dry, these skills will keep you going. Because in the end, survival isn't about what you have, it's about what you know. Navigation, it's not just about finding your way, it's about surviving. The world of survival isn't just about braving the wild, it's also about navigating through the concrete jungle of our cities. Whether you find yourself lost in the wilderness or stranded in an urban environment, knowing how to navigate without the aid of technology is crucial to survival. Imagine a world without your handy GPS, no phone maps, no friendly voice guiding you turn by turn. It's just you, your wits, and your understanding of the fundamentals of navigation. Now, let's break it down to the basics. First up, let's talk about map and compass. The compass, your steadfast friend, always points north. Learn to read it, trust it. A map, on the other hand, is a snapshot of the terrain, a blueprint of your surroundings. Get familiar with contour lines, legends, and scales. Learn to orient your map with your compass, and you've got yourself a reliable guide that won't run out of battery. Next, landmark tracking. In the wilderness, it could be a distinctive tree or a rock formation. In a city, it could be a tall building or a unique structure. These landmarks serve as your reference points, helping you chart your course and measure your progress. Now, let's delve into the concept of dead reckoning. This is especially useful in urban environments. It's a method of estimating your current position based on a previously known position and advancing that position based upon known or estimated speeds over elapsed time and course. In simpler terms, it's about making educated guesses on your location based on your surroundings and movement. But remember, navigation isn't just about finding your way. It's about avoiding danger, about not getting funneled into unsafe areas. It's about making smart decisions that keep you safe and lead you to resources. In survival, knowing your way could mean the difference between life and death. Stealth, it's not just about being unseen, it's about staying alive. When the world around us descends into chaos, moving without detection becomes an art form, a skill that can mean the difference between life and death. Imagine, if you will, a scenario where you need to move from point A to point B. The path is fraught with danger and being seen could put everything at risk. The first principle of stealth is controlling your light. In a world that's gone dark, even the smallest glimmer can give you away. This means using natural cover, keeping low and moving with the shadows. It's about making yourself as invisible as possible, blending into your surroundings like a chameleon blends into nature. But being unseen isn't just about light, it's also about sound. The rustle of leaves underfoot, a twig snapping, even the sound of your own breathing can betray your location. Here's where practice comes in. Learn to walk softly, tread lightly, and breathe quietly. It's about becoming a whisper in the wind, a ghost in the night. And lest we forget, smell too can give you away. The aroma of a freshly cooked meal can travel for miles, drawing unwanted attention. Learn to control your scent. Use natural odors to mask your own, and avoid cooking or creating other strong smells when you need to stay hidden. Low-profile travel is key. This means avoiding open spaces, sticking to the edges, and using natural and man-made cover whenever possible. It's about being unpredictable, about avoiding the routes that others might expect you to take, because in survival, predictability is a liability. The expected route is often the most dangerous one. It's the one that's watched, the one that's trapped. Instead, learn to think like the water in a river, always seeking the path of least resistance, always flowing, always adapting. So remember, in a world gone mad, stealth isn't just about being unseen. It's about being unpredictable, untraceable, and ultimately unassailable. It's about moving with purpose, with care, and with a keen awareness of your surroundings. In survival, the unseen often outlasts the seen. Medical knowledge, it's not just first aid, it's a lifeline. It's the difference between life and death when hospitals are no longer an option and you're the closest thing to a doctor around. Let's start with wound cleaning. You're not in a sterile hospital room. The wilderness, or even just your backyard, is full of bacteria. Cleaning wounds thoroughly with warm water and mild soap is crucial. It's not just about preventing infection, but about ensuring the body can heal without any unwanted intruders. Next, let's talk infection control. It's not just about the initial cleaning. It's about vigilance. Regularly changing bandages, keeping the wound clean, and monitoring for signs of infection like redness, swelling, or pus. Don't underestimate the power of honey as a natural antibiotic. Applied topically, it can help fight off bacteria and speed the healing process. Now, onto basic trauma response. In a survival scenario, you might be dealing with anything from sprains and broken bones to severe cuts or burns. Knowing how to immobilize an injury, how to stop bleeding, and when to not remove an impaled object can mean the difference between a manageable situation and a fatal one. Finally, long-term care with limited supplies. Survival isn't always about the immediate aftermath of an injury. It's about managing pain, preventing further injury, and promoting healing over time. This might mean creating makeshift splints from branches, using your knife to cut clothing into bandages, or understanding how to position an injured person for optimal recovery. It's important to remember that these skills are not a replacement for professional medical care. They're a stopgap, a way to buy time until you can get the help you need. But in a survival situation, time is often the most valuable commodity you have. So don't just stockpile medical supplies. Learn how to use them. Practice. Get comfortable with the uncomfortable, because when the time comes, it's not your supplies that will save you. It's your knowledge, your calm under pressure, your willingness to do what needs to be done. In survival, your medical skills could be your only doctor. And discipline, it's not just a virtue, it's a survival tool. In a survival situation, chaos and uncertainty are your constant companions. Yet, amidst all this, there's one thing that can provide structure and order: discipline. Survival isn't a sprint, it's a marathon. It's about the long game. It's about ensuring that your resources, both physical and mental, last for the duration. That's where discipline comes into play. It's the compass that keeps you on course when everything else seems to be falling apart. Imagine being in a situation where food and water are scarce, and you're unsure when you'll find your next meal. The natural instinct is to consume what you have immediately, driven by fear and uncertainty. But discipline teaches us to ration our supplies, to make sure they last. It's about making calculated decisions, not impulsive ones. This also extends to managing our energy. It's easy to get caught up in the rush of adrenaline that survival situations often bring and push ourselves to the brink of exhaustion. But discipline helps us understand the importance of pacing ourselves, of taking rest when needed, and of making sure we don't burn out. And then there's the aspect of following a daily plan. In a survival scenario, it's easy to lose track of time and routine. Days blend into nights, and before you know it, you've lost all sense of order. But having a daily plan, and the discipline to stick to it, can provide a sense of normalcy and control. It's a beacon of hope that cuts through the fog of uncertainty. But perhaps the most crucial aspect of discipline in survival is its role in decision-making. In high-stress situations, it's easy to let emotions take the driver's seat, but emotional decisions are rarely the right ones. Discipline helps us keep a level head to make decisions based on logic and reason, not fear and panic. In survival, discipline is the game changer. It's the invisible force that guides us, that keeps us grounded, and ultimately, that helps us survive. It's not just a virtue, it's a survival tool. So, cultivate it, nurture it, and let it guide you through your survival journey. Observation, it's not just seeing, it's sensing danger before it senses you. This skill, friends, is a crucial survival asset, and it's about far more than just keeping your eyes open. It's about reading the people around you, understanding your environment, and recognizing potential threats before they recognize you. In a survival situation, you're dealing with a world that's changed, the rules have shifted, and you need to shift with them. An observant survivor is one who recognizes these changes early. They see the patterns that others miss. They notice when the birds stop singing, signaling potential danger. They see the subtle signs that people are becoming desperate, allowing them to anticipate and avoid conflict. But observation isn't only about seeing, it's about using all your senses. It's about listening to the world around you, smelling the air, feeling the ground beneath your feet. It's about tuning in to the subtle changes that signal a shift in your environment. In the wild, these changes might mean a storm is coming. In an urban environment, they might signal that it's time to move on. Observation also involves tracking changes in your surroundings. In a survival situation, your environment is constantly evolving. Buildings crumble, resources dwindle, people come and go. An observant survivor keeps track of these changes. They remember where resources are, who's friendly, and who's not, and what areas are safe or dangerous. Remember, in a survival situation, knowledge is power. The more you observe, the more you know, and the more you know, the better prepared you are to face whatever comes your way. So, keep your eyes open, your ears tuned, and your senses sharp. In survival, your observation skills are your early warning system. They're the thing that alerts you to danger before it arrives, giving you the time you need to act, to prepare, to survive. So, stay observant, stay prepared, and stay alive.